For those of us who live in LA, did you check the weather before you left this morning? It was coming down pretty hard when I was coming home. I was at least prepared for it, and I know we have a second storm coming in that's going to be significantly worse than the storm that's hitting us right now. So it's important to know what the weather is. Now, we live in Southern California because we don't get weather, but we do get weather. We actually get some pretty significant storms, and because the storms that we do get hit with are oftentimes stuff we're not used to. As we know, those of us who drive in LA know that people don't know how to drive in the rain. So knowing what the weather is ahead of time, knowing what to expect throughout the day is critical. I was picking up a friend and she came out with a heavy sweater on and some fuzzy scarf. And I thought, yeah, you didn't look at the weather because it was going to be 80 degrees that day, probably around noonish. She was regretting her life choices. So definitely know what you're going to expect before you leave the house. Gives you options.